Good afternoon, all of you. So this is the panel discussion from the Faculty of Engineering Technology. The panel discussion is on smart cities, challenges for the engineering sector in the new normal. And our distinguished panel members are Professor Ranjit Disanayake, Senior Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, University of Peradeniya, Miss Engineer M.G. Hemachandra, Senior Project Specialist, JICA Sri Lanka, and Dr. Narendra De Silva, General Manager, LECO Private Limited. So I would like to welcome all of you to the event very warmly. The panel discussion will be individual panel member will be presenting 20 minutes for their views on the topic, and then we will be discussing the questions from the audience. So I would like to invite, without further ado, Professor Ranjit Disanayake to take over. Professor Ranjit, over to you.
Thank you. Let me share my presentation. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, Professor, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. I title my presentation as the city that I love. Let me see why I said that. This is the city that I live. It's a Kandy city. And this is the city that I work, the Peradeniya. So when you look at these two cities, you can understand how the condition of the city as well as a traffic jam and all. But theoretically, this is the city that I love. Why I love this city? Very simply, city has three main ingredients which we need for the sustainable cities. That is that try to bring the nature as much as possible into the city, as well as try to prevent preserve the nature within the city itself. As well as of course, the people are there. People look so happy in the city. And it should be supported by the economy. It should be a green economy. So green economy represent the public transport and maybe only public transport that you can see, right? And the fuel, green fuel and so forth. So that is why we basically love the city. Simply speaking, within the city, we have got the nature and the people are happy, as well as the economy has become a green economy. What we need to do, because why we are here? We are here to talk about the sustainable cities, greener cities, and what we can do as a profession. That means that we really understand that we need the transformation. Because you and me, though we are now I'm working in Colombo, we never go to the port, at least for have coffee or tea, because we don't like it. But we go to the port, maybe station, something like that. But otherwise, you don't feel like going there because you don't love this city. But you try to always go to the place where you love. You will see the natural beauty. You will see the people are enjoying. You will see the economy is becoming the green economy. So we need a transformation, right? So how we should get into this transformation as professionals, engineers, town planners and so forth. Basically, we want to city like Peradeniya, Kandy, even Colombo must transform the city that I mentioned, that a city that I love. What has happened so far? Because we were living in the jungle, we, with our technological knowledge and understanding, research, everything, we made a huge built environment that created a lot of environmental issues. Right? That is why we are here to talk about the sustainable cities. But we can't go back. You can't go back to the jungle and start living. No? Nobody likes it. So what we have to do is we have to transform everything to a sustainability of green city, green housing, green, you name anything and everything must be transformed to the green. Then you will not go back to the where we were, but at least you can be happy about you are doing some compromise for the sake of the environment. This is the transform of the city with the greener practices. This is what basically I would like to talk to you. It's again like this, transform the city to a greener city, then you love the city. So that is my topic is a city that you love. City like this, and you need to transform. Where the future generation has better opportunities, greener, the clean water, clean air, environment within the city or wherever you are, job employment and so forth. Then people may not migrate. For example, now everybody is talking about they want to leave this country. But they don't see a future. Right? They need the security, they need the food, they need the clean air, clean water, and the greeneries and the future prospect. Right? So rather than you try to, this is the long-term solution for whatever the people are thinking about the migration and so forth. So as I represent the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka as a chairman, the vision of the green cities is to transform the Sri Lanka cities with the greener practices, where protect the environment and socio-economic growth in the city itself, socio-economic development, the well-being of the cities as well as the motherland. But you can't do with only the cities. You have to transform the building, cities, material, transport, housing, and we have identified. For the time being, we have nearly 25 areas to be transformed to the greener. Right? Here, I'm just giving you some idea about the cities. So when you look at the city, if you go for the slot analysis of the city, there's a big strength. What is employment opportunities, easy access, and so forth. That's what we live in the city. Right? Then opportunities are, there's a huge contribution to GDP in the cities. And it is easy to implement the sustainable development policies in the cities. But there are so many weaknesses, energy requirement, material, waste, and so forth. And again, we will be having a lot of other problems like dust, gas emission, environment pollution, and land misuse, misuse of water, high rates of resource wastage, and so forth. So because cities has a lot of strength, opportunities, but at the same time, weakness and threat. So if you get rid of this weakness and threats, that is what we call about the kind of sustainability. So in order to do this one, we understand that there are so many areas, but the main 8 criteria are green rating city tool was developed, where these 9 criteria, we have the good management, mainly municipal council and Pradeshi Sabha and so forth. And management is much more than that sometimes. Ecology conservation should be started in the city. Infrastructure management should be there, should manage it. This apartment should come, the transport should be station, and many of it go to the garbage bin and so forth. Then waste management is a very important, right? Then transport facilities, right? Some cities has a pre-transport cities within the city itself. Why? Why they are giving free? Because they don't want to public transport system to be, or private transport should be operated. Clean water, energy, and social and economic. We have to make sure that we protect our social economic culture, protecting, and we must bring always the innovation into our practices. Why? Because this is the new area. This is unique for Sri Lanka. We have to come up with the innovation. So, but these all 9 areas which we are identify as critical are not equally important. Management, we say point forms, 4 points. Ecology and conservation very important because we have to bring the nature as much as possible into the city. And infrastructure 6. Likewise, we have given the point system where we understand the transport facilities is the most important. Then the water conservation, water related water efficiency, clean water and so forth. Likewise, social and cultural economic activities are also will damage the environment. So this is how it has been. Then ecology and the conservation also. I'm not going to talk about, there are 100 points each point. This is how it is operated, but not going to explain much. If there are like the prerequisite of these and the 41 credits. Prerequisites has no point because if you want to go for the greener city, these 9 prerequisites must be satisfied. Then 41 credit. 41 credit has 100 points. Some credit has 1, some are 3, 2 likewise 100 points. So just to give you, the city can be classified, certified silver, gold, and platinum. It depends on how good the city is, right? So this is why what we do. For example, if you have a city like that one, we say if you had taken more than 60 points or 63 points, it seems like. So it is a goal, but there's a room for city to go for the platinum. City can start with the certified, but with the improvement, keep on improvement. If you start the certified city today, maybe another 15 years later, it can be brought to a platinum city, or gold, or silver, or even they might lose the certified one if they are not taken care of. City like this one, concrete jungle, lot of garbage and so forth. City with the 0 point, right? Then a city like this one, lot of green, and of course these are not just the artificial, the drawn picture. These are the cities, like the city of Vancouver and various other cities. When you go to the world, you will see the cities like this one. So city with the 100 points. That means all the 9 criteria that we have been talking about has been embedded into the city and improved up to the maximum level. In a way, just though I wrote it as 100 points, impossible to receive the 100 point of the city. The finally vision of the sustainable city is to bring the nature and the happy people and the green economy. That is the vision of the sustainable cities or greener cities, whatever. Just before concluding my presentation, I would like to, there's a small video that I would try to run it, so that that will give the one of the how Japan keep the city clean.
Hi guys, welcome back. Sorry if I'm talking a little bit low today, but I am actually next to a very nice temple and I don't want to disturb too much. Today's topic is going to be why Japanese streets are so clean and neat. And my target is going to be to find some trash in the streets. Let's see if we can find it. Let's go. One of the elements that surprises foreigners the most while visiting Japan is the total absence of litter in the street. Cleanliness and neatness rule, and it's actually very difficult to find some trash around, even if you look for that by purpose. And surprise, surprise, all of that happens without trash bins around the cities. So, how things can work even with this contradiction? Yes, of course, you can find a lot of signals telling you not to throw garbage in the street or leave your dog stool around. But the main reason is to be found in the lifestyle and culture of Japanese people. Did you know, for example, that at Japanese elementary schools there are no janitors and all the cleaning work is performed by the scholars themselves? For real! It is easy then to develop a sense of responsibility that, as you would expect, expands outside the school, moves to the neighborhood, where also adults contribute to maintain it clean. You see this guy? It's my morning hero. Then, the same behavior expands naturally to your city, to your country, and just becomes part of you. So, if you have watched the video images so far, you have noticed that no litter is around. Whether we are walking on a big street, a secondary one, or even a work in progress site. By the way, how cool is this traffic delimiter? So, let me try to raise the bar and go somewhere you can usually find a lot of garbage. A drainage canal. Nothing. No luck even this time. Okay then, let's continue our research. Finally, I got something to show you. Here we are. The only piece of trash in something like half an hour of walk. Really, the only one. Wow, that was a tough one. One piece of trash in about 3 kilometers radius. Even if I live here now, still, this aspect of Japan doesn't stop to amaze me. But what about you? Is your country as clean as Japan? Let me know in the comments. And hey, don't forget to subscribe for more videos. See you next time. Hi guys, welcome back. Sorry if I'm talking.
Yeah, that the final message is not only engineering, technology, and more important to change of the behavior, attitude. Of course, it should be supported by the economy. Therefore, keeping the city clean for the sustainability, we have to start from the day that we are born, and we have to develop this attitude. As you know, that the people in Japan, even the school children used to clean the school, officers clean the officers. So we have to start from there. But if we expect somebody else to clean it like we do, we think that the municipal people will come and clean the city. So no, it is our duty. I have noticed, I have lived like almost 6 to 7 years in Japan. People, if they find something garbage, I mean the waste trash outside, they will get it and either they put in the pocket or bags and take home in emergency. Likewise, there are a lot to learn. So with that, I think I would like to conclude my the first presentation and like to get into the discussion later. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Sanjeev. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. And before going to the next presentation, I have a very quick question. Any city in Sri Lanka that is near to certified level?
We have been working actually city of Rambukkana and other few city also. But the
Okay.
Rambukkana city also we have to stop, we didn't stop, but we didn't continue it. But otherwise by this time we might have certified it due to some unrest in the country, we have to stop it. But Rambukkana is not that difficult city. You know, transport wise also, the train is there, the many facilities they are easy to convert to, but we have been discussing with the municipal council, the Pradesi Sabha, and we have been working in that area, and we'll see. Yeah,
Okay.
there are few
Okay.
other cities. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. The next presentation is from Engineer M.G. Hemachandra. He is once again Senior Project Specialist in JICA, Sri Lanka. Engineer Hemachandra, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nadi. Iration, yeah. Can you see my presentation?
Yeah, we can see. Thank
Okay.
you.
Good afternoon to you all. So after listening to beautiful presentation about Lovable City, the green infrastructure in the smart city. So let me take you to another area, another important area about smart way of handling agricultural producers from the stage of growing. So let's look at, actually I put it in the topic called the digital platform for agriculture value chain and supply chain. So let's see how digital platform work for collaboration, regulation, and policy making. You can see this platform. This is about online platform we are talking about. I'm talking about. This is a very conceptual thing. So this has not done anywhere. I hope this is my own idea. So you can see in the online, this kind of digital platform, we can integrate consumers, traders, and then growers, the land, water, fertilizer, and regulators, so that each and every party can collaborate, and their regulation could happen. And finally, government can do the policy making as well. This is the thing I want to tell. I want to name as the digital platform for agriculture value chain and supply chain. So during COVID period, actually, team of engineers, including myself, we noted the Mahaweli farmers, not Mahaweli, actually farmers in Sri Lanka, they face a lot of problems. Their producers, they cannot sell, wasted a lot of producers. They are actually, Pivot Power engineers and myself, we developed mobile application called Mahaweli Market. This is volunteer work, very small work. What we did was we make a mobile application. Farmer can put whatever his producers in the application, photos, and the Google map, the location of the what he's going to sell. So then there's another tab about the production details. Farmers can include the details. For an example, next week he's going to harvest chili or something, this kilos this month, so that buyers can see, okay, there's a potential, this kind of product is coming there, so that he can take decision to go there or collect the thing. So this kind of thing we develop and we handed over it to Mahaweli. So after that, I don't think that has not been moved. So with that background, actually, I'm talking this digital platform. Let's move about Well, let me explain about agriculture value chain and supply chain. These are hand in hand, these two words going. First, actually, farmer has to decide what to grow. Then farmer is growing this one. Then next stage is trading. Then processing. I think we're talking about value additions, lot of things. And then finally, it is ready for wholesale, retail, and or export. Okay, let me talk about one by one how this digital platform build. For an example, A, if you go to previous slide, so A is what to grow. So now here, decision on what to grow. At the moment, you know, in farmers in Sri Lanka, they decide what to grow based on the market dynamics. If someone want to grow chili, it's based on, okay, I will get the good prices, then he decide to grow chili. But imagine the case if we can have digital platform, we link farmers, even customers, traders, then customers demand in the upstream side, farmers can see. So he can decide, okay, I will grow this product. On the other hand, it's not only, you know, market demand supply driven way. Government can take decision, policy decision based on the analysis of, because at the moment government don't have data. If we can have this kind of digital platform, all the data coming into this platform, so that government also can make policies, they can monitor, they can take decisions. If you go to number 2, there's a farm plot infrastructure part. So think about the, I mean, if you are going to grow something, so we need the irrigation, the water, then the land. In the digital platform, we can register the farm plot with the farmer's name or whatever the registration. So then extent of the farm plot. In the GIS map, we can include the water table, soil characteristic, the water, the irrigation supplies. So it can be a good data to even at the moment. I think we did project in Anuradhapur. We understand farmers are applying fertilizer, even those are very fertile soil, but fertilizer is not necessary. But still, farmers are, you know, applying. If we can have the GIS map indicating these are fertile soil, this I mean urea is not necessary for this part of the soil. So next part of soil, urea is necessary. Such a decision can be made, because then importation of fertilizer we can think of, and integrated water resource management, because in the digital platform everyone is collaborating. Government also can think about next demand of the fertilizer, because this much of land growing paddy, other land chili, the pumpkin, like that, different OFC, other field crops like that. So as classification is there, and the digital platform, all this data is coming, government can take decision, even trader also can take decision. And the number 3 is farm machinery. The digital platform, we can allow space for the traders who sell the farm machinery, or else we can have innovation center, so that people can come and design the farm machinery. Because when we talk about farm machinery in Sri Lanka, it's a different. Like US, their farmland is very big land, but in Sri Lanka we have small plots. So we have to design the farm machinery according to our land plot and our own characteristics. When it go to seeds, this is one of the bigger problems in Sri Lanka, because we don't get certified seed, good quality seed. We end up with lost, because finally then there won't be any harvest, because we are using not quality seed. So if we can have this kind of digital platform, we can make a space for certified seed sellers, so that they have to maintain certain regulations, certain standard. Their previous year performance can be reflected, because this is a collaborative platform, everyone is working. So third one is, actually I already explained, import-export based, because as we are registering farmers plot, what they are going to grow, we know about water table, soil characteristics, so we can decide what kind of fertilizer, how much, when we want to import. Those decisions we can make using this kind of platform. So then growing, during the growing stage, actually there's the cultivation techniques, extension services. At the moment, I think, you know, in JICA Sri Lanka office, some time back, I was handling agriculture sector. I understand, I'm very closely working with the Department of Agriculture and relevant other organizations. I know that over 50 organizations are there for agriculture. They are working in their own silos. They have their own good intention, but there's no collaborative platform. So if we can make this kind of platform, all these organizations can come into digital platform. They can educate farmers, they can give messages, even they can shoot the problem, knowledge sharing, these things can be done. Then estimation of production. like, next yellow cultivation, how much paddy is, what is the harvest of paddy? What is the amount of harvest? So if we know this amount of harvest is coming because we know the number of farm plots, how much they cultivated. So we can estimate the harvest. With that estimation, government can take importation decision, policy decision. So this kind of thing we can be done. Then the transport. Actually, the way in that, again, the digital platform, we can include, we can register transport providers. We can make a smart pool so that at the moment, who is a trader, he himself take vehicles with him and he take the things out from there to Colombo or some other destination. But if we can register transport providers, we can make a specification for transport provider. Okay, you have to do this kind of packaging. When you are transporting, you have to do this kind of quality control. So that, because I think you are aware that 40%, nearly 30 to 35% of agriculture produce are wasted during transportation. So this transportation matter can be monitored. The quality control is a plan, do, check, and action. This year, there's a failure. Next year, because in the digital platform, we can monitor how they have done. So we can make corrective actions. So we are moving towards solution end. So on the other hand, economical way of transport also we can address here, because say one trader, he purchased certain item in the digital platform, farmers put their producers here and there in the map. Say, assume in the map, they put their producers. Then the buyer can make a bid saying, I need to take these producers, this point to that point, that destination. He can make a bid and he present that bid in his digital platform so that transport providers can bid and the best price and quality transport provider get the chance and he do the transportation. That's kind of a smart way of working we can do. Then storage. I think this is one of the main areas. So at the moment in Sri Lanka, we don't have storage. When we talk about storage, different kind of storage. Sometimes we need cold storage. So we produce the thing, but we don't have storage. Finally, end up with wasting those producers. We invest a lot of money. Farmers work very hard. Finally, because we don't have storage facilities. So that is not. On the thing is actually, if we can have the digital platform, we can classify storages, we can indicate availability of storages so that people know this kind of storages are there, that decision-making part, so can be done effectively. Okay, let's move to the agriculture value chain. Next stage, the trading. The trading stage, actually, the producers can be graded, quality can be graded, so that in the digital platform, we can make a standard. And other thing is the pricing. So as this is a digital platform, the prices in Mbilipitiya, prices in Dambulla can be monitored. The farmers also can be monitored. So that create kind of harmony, collaborative and self-regulation environment there. Then farmers bid. This is a kind of part that we did in our mobile application. So farmer in the digital platform, farmers can present their bid. So I have this much of paddy. I have this much of 100 kilogram of chili. So the buyer can see the Dambulla, this much of producer that he can make a bid and best price, the farmers sell it. So number 3, buyers bidding, that is I already explained. So buyers can bid, farmer can present, buyer can buy. Then transport part I have explained again, because in the trading also transport very important. I have already explained it. The storage also same. The processing actually, in the digital platform, actually, we can include the refining, value addition information so that it's a plan, do, check, and action. So it's a cycle. So how we are doing, government can see how we are doing, farmers, traders, they can see where they are. So this is knowledge accumulation. So where we want to go, those kind of decision in a usual way of doing, we can do the way we do now, but we can enhance it to next level when we see our previous results. So digital platform accumulate this information and they can do it. And packaging also in the transportation and other thing. It's a very important, this aspect also we can build into digital platform. And then again, wholesale and retail and export. So we can have many number of online shops where it make a retail and wholesale, maybe export. So all these things can link into this digital platform. And also as digital platform integrate all these stakeholders like farmers, traders, growers, regulate kind of extension agriculture department people, expert. So finally the consumers. So what consumer need can be, upstream demand, upstream requirement, their desire can be taken back to the farmer so that he can next time he can think about those things. Then packaging, I have again explaining that wholesale retail is packaging is very important, and that also the digital platform. So packaging, how packaging can do, how packaging can further improve. So what are the waste? If there's a wastage due to this kind of package, we can improve it next time. So such a knowledge management continuation is there within the digital platform and consumer data. So when it grow to good, very advanced system, advanced digital platform, the customers' food habit also we can see, spending, buying capacity, their nutrition level, right? Those things, when we get to those things, kind of big data, so that those data will be even the raw material for doctors to diagnosis. How, on the other hand, government regulators like Inland Revenue Department, he can see how spending of this family unit or this, how the income of this farmer. So how to apply taxes, and also those information also can be gathered from this kind of digital platform. Then storage, again, as I explained earlier, is very important. I think this is the end of my presentation. This is a very conceptual thing, but this is practical. I don't think this is not practical, but we have to start from scratch. So we have to go the journey. So from this kind of system has to be developed gradually. Most of these areas has to be researched with what are the bottlenecks, how we can go, what are the options available. Those things has to be done. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you, Dr. Iresha and other participants. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Hemachandra. We will move on to the next presentation, and then we can start the discussion. Actually, that was very new ideas, even though it's in the conceptual level. Let me invite the next panel member, Dr. Narendra De Silva. He's the General Manager, LECO Private Limited. Once again, Dr. Narendra, over to you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Iresha. I think you can see my presentation.
Yes, yeah, we can.
Yes, I will be talking about the smart cities in its power and energy context. Smart cities can be looked in various aspects, but probably my expertise, I'll be talking about how that the power and energy experts apprehend and grasp this concept, this modern concept of smart cities. First of all, I would like to elaborate upon our comprehension on smart cities versus efficient and green cities. Actually, these efficient and green cities are concurrently used with smart cities, but we as infrastructure engineers, we apprehend it in a kind of a different context. First of all, we got to understand that cities are inefficient and environmentally costly. All over the world, if you compare a village versus a city, we see per capita energy consumption, per capita environmental footprint is probably 10-fold higher than in the village. A villager uses much less energy and puts much less imprint on the environment. But on the other hand, we got to apprehend and we have to appreciate the fact that cities provide vital services to the country, specialized vital services. So the issue is that they are providing special services and they are eating up substantial amount of the country's resources. How to sort out this problem? The engineers have recognized two attacking lines of sorting out this issue. One thing is making the city efficient and greener. Making the city efficient and greener by behavioral modifications. You change the city dwellers' ways and means, how he travels, how he cooks. Try to change the guy's ways and behaviors and try to address this issue of inefficiency and the environmental footprint. The second alternative, as infrastructure engineers see this, probably the other architects and other engineers may be looking at it in a different context. Though we see this as infusion of technology into these operations, where we don't try to change the behavior very much, let the guys to behave as they are, but infuse technology to get this energy intensity and environmental footprint reduced. Actually, the recent research have clearly elaborated the fact that none of these mechanisms or modalities by itself is going to yield right answers. Probably a proper blend of these two. The entirely and overall modification of behavior will not work because of the specialized nature of its processes. Those processes need a marketplace, need certain amount of activity. So that in order to sustain those activities, sustain that intensity of activities, probably we will have to incur a bit of a cost. On the other, at the same time, infusion of technology will come to a breaking point where the technology itself is going to be inefficient if that we are going to put more and more technology into the equation. So as in any other part of our lives, this is also sort of an optimization or a balance that we got to achieve. How much of behavioral modification versus how much of technology that we are going to infuse into this problem to achieve the right balance and the right footprint of the city. Power and energy in a city in the context of smart city is looked into through three lenses. Number one is mainstreaming energy. All other sources of energy is going to be mainstream to electricity, whereas electricity is being generated by all the sources. Why? Electrical energy usage can be monitored properly, controlled properly, observability is there, controllability is there, and the reliability is there. If you want to make a particular energy consumption efficient, probably the best way is to first convert it to electricity, then control the electrical usage, because that is fairly a monitor, observable and controllable source. Actually, electricity is not a source as such. It's not a primary source, it's a secondary source. So this particular secondary source by itself got certain inherent characteristics of higher observability and higher controllability. Second thing is energy conservation. So with the benefit of the previous point, we get a higher volume, higher capacity, higher ball field for us to play in energy conservation. And finally, this electricity comes as a source of information because it's a online, it's observability. How much that we can monitor it provides us certain information about the behavior, the socio-economic behavior of the user. So it acts as information as well. So basically, mainstream, we are looking at smart energy in three contexts. One thing is mainstreaming energy, conservation of energy, and creating another resource out of energy, which is called information. Information pertaining to energy. So what are the technologies that we are looking at in this particular context? We are looking at probably 5 technologies. One thing is the smart energy agents. I don't like to use the popular term smart energy meters. They are energy agents. So they are doing a lot of things sitting at your doorstep. Smart energy agents. smart communication platforms, home area networks, local area networks, wide area networks being integrated together provides a door-to-door and door-to-utility data communication in real time. Third technology, the smart energy transfer. Every point at which this energy being transferred, denominated and brought to your doorstep can be monitored. How much of energy enters into your city, how much of energy enters your transformer, how much of energy enters into your feeder, and how much of energy being dissipated to you at your doorstep. Once when all this information is there, that provides substantial amount of information about the behavior, activity pattern of the city. And fourth point is smart switching. We can do switching remotely and aggressively to ensure that your energy, the path by which your energy comes to your doorstep is being altered. Where in one path we have a problem, we can smoothly, very fluidly change that path from the faulted avenue to the existing avenue. Whereas you would experience a power failure. This is the context why that most of the cities that we talk about, Singapore or London, why that people don't experience power cuts or electricity failures is fundamentally because of this reason. People go out and say our country, we have frequent breakdowns, etc., etc. What is the issue? Issue is we have not provided N-1 downward at the LV and the MV network. Once when one path is broken, we don't have kept an alternative path. It is simply because that we have not gone to cable networks. Because alternative network is costly and costly in the context of rupees, but not only rupees, spatial. It takes huge spatial footprint because you are going to build almost 2 lines in place of 1. So that spatial usage cannot be captured by the utility unless we are having underground network. So basically these things are integrated. We don't have much of smart switching because we don't have alternative paths. And why we don't have alternative paths? Because we are not gone for underground networks. So that is integrated problem. And finally, the fifth is the R resources, renewable energy source, solar and wind. It's a scattered resource. Everybody's roof is illuminated by the sun. Everybody can generate their renewable energy. So the network should be competent enough and capable enough to acquire this renewable energy. So that is the fifth technology. So as I previously mentioned, all these 5 technologies provide us stable, observable, and controllable energy resource, which comes integrated into our smart cities through, as I discussed before, mainstreaming, energy conservation, and as an information source. So if I just briefly discuss this step by step about these 3 aspects. The technologies, now we know the toolkit we have in our tool basket to tinker with the problem, and what are the aspects or the projections along which where the openings are there for us to tinker the problem. Number 1 is electricity to be used as a mainstream energy. Cities use it. Primary source of primary usage of cities is not electricity actually. It is transportation, cooking, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, HVAC. And further, special needs, specialized usage of energies in hospitals and in patient care, in elderly persons. There are specialized usages. So Now, all these energy usages, we got to look in as to how that we are going to convert it to electricity. Predominantly, at the moment, the killing topic is transportation. Unless we, in Sri Lanka, we have a 40, people do not recognize that 40% of our energy is for transportation. 40% is for cooking. Only 20% is electricity. When we talk energy efficiency, we go harping about electricity, but we forget the fact that 40% of our budget is being used as transportation, 40% is used as cooking. So similarly, a city uses much energy for transportation and much energy for cooking. So these things got to be brought to the mainstream source and made them efficient. Unless and until we do not mainstream these energies, it is pretty difficult. It's a daunting task for us to monitor the usage. Observability is not there. It's a daunting task to control it. Once we as engineers, we know anything we cannot observe, we cannot control. So the controllability is not there, as well as reliability also is an issue because the supply lines are different. Our petroleum supply, our fuel supply is another infrastructure lying on the city. Gas supply is another one. Electricity is another one. If we convert it all together to electricity, then probably we have to look into the electricity supply chain only. Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. In Sri Lanka, this has not been a major issue because all air conditioning goes with electricity. But in another city, probably heating is a major source of energy that got to be converted to electricity. And ventilation, of course, in Sri Lanka is an energy killer. But that, I think, got to be addressed predominantly as a country of tropical environment. Ventilation got to be addressed through building designs, primarily. And the special needs to be converted to electricity is also not much of an issue as far as Sri Lankan cities are concerned. Power as a means of energy conservation. Now, once when we get this thing streamlined, together with power, substantial observability is being achieved. We can do energy auditing, moment-to-moment energy transfer from one point to the other. Then there's another thing that we technical term for demand-side management. We can manage at the demand side. Demand-side management also, as I told you before, that fundamental concept is there. Demand-side management is not switching off lights. When your kid is studying, you go and forcibly switch off the light and say, we got to say conserve electricity. No, that is not demand-side management. Demand-side management is without hampering your usage, your enjoyment, to reduce electricity consumption. If you put an efficient bulb, while you are having the same amount of lumens out, if you reduce your energy, electricity consumption, that is demand-side management. If you design your house in such a manner that, say, if you paint your house with white color rather than dark colors, then the same bulb can give you more reflected light, scattered light, provides you with more illumination. Then probably you might be able to reduce your wattage of the bulb. That is demand-side management. If you decide to heat water and use heated water for cooking, and thereby you conserve your heat in water with a well-designed container, that is demand-side management. Automatic demand response. That's the other topic. The automatic demand response is actually even advanced kind of demand-side management, where the utility moment-to-moment observe your energy consumption, and utility intervenes into your day-to-day lives in managing your energy consumption. For an example, we switch off your fridge. We switch off your certain lights. and you will be compensated for that. Thereby, the demand is being, not only the energy, the demand is also being managed. Street lights. In a power crisis situation, we dim the street lights. That's a more centralized demand control in order to achieve the power system efficiency and reliability. So all these things are possible. Say for an example, I'll tell you a classic example, vehicle charge. Now, if you have a vehicle charging, it's been done through a ADR platform during a power swing, or if a small instability of the power system is at its rise, we'll be shutting down all the energy, the battery storages, and we will be controlling our power demand. Even we go to extent of calling V2G, vehicle to grid. We reverse the inverter and start discharging the battery to the grid to ensure that the stability of the grid for a short while. So these concepts are integrated with this broader term called ADR. Finally, electricity to be used as a source of information. I'll tell you a classic example. This is probably not the best example though, but we'll elaborate on the concept. Recently, there was a case in America, in states where a person is being litigated for cultivating cannabis leaves inside his cellar. How police have identified that he's doing that? What the police does is, in that particular district, in that particular county, people used to grow these illegal plants in their cellars. How they identify this? Because in order for this to be grown, they have to shine a lot of lights. It needs heat and light for the growth. So if you all of a sudden find that one person's electricity consumption rises at a step, and especially during the night and day both, then you know that this guy is doing something with this electricity. Being that county is very famous for this aspect, police guess that this guy is growing cannabis inside his cellar and raid the cellar. 99% of the time, they find that this guy is doing the same. So, so that is very primitive kind of understanding somebody's behavior through energy consumption. If you get the right information, right access to somebody's energy consumption, since modern life is very tightly coupled with energy consumption, you can very easily predict what this guy is doing. If his television is working, and if his fan is working, if his sitting room lights are there, this guy is most likely watching TV, isn't that so? If the study area lights are working, if the study room air condition is working, most likely this guy is studying. Or if both are working, then probably his kids are studying while the parents are watching TV. So that level of information extraction you can do. Not only that, his average present context as well as average context. Whether the family is a young family with kids, whether the family is an old couple where the kids are working, whether the family is a very young family where only the wife and the husband is living. We have done a research, not a research, we were doing research over the time with even with Open University Electrical Department in using smart energy meter data to characterize the customers. We have achieved about 94% accuracy. Even in LECO, we are running such a portal at the moment. So if a customer comes, our branch manager, when he logs into the portal, he gets a suggestion that this guy is somebody of this nature. So up to that level, information can be captured through the energy stream. So behavioral studies, demographic and social activity studies, criminology, these aspects. But this is coupled with artificial intelligence tools. This is coupled with big data, not only his electricity consumption, but his rest of the presence in the society, the rest of his digital presence that he marks over the society got to be extracted and brought into a single platform with substantially robust artificial intelligence tools to give the right tool for the city managers to understand what their citizens are doing, what their behaviors are, what their demography is, what their desires are, and even it goes to the point of criminology, the control of the society, legal control of the society, or the analysis of behavior. That is the third usage of electricity within a smart city. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. De Silva, for wonderful presentation. I think so we have finished almost all the presentation from the panel members. Let's start the discussion. I'm sure this is going to be very interesting because it's really coupled with our day-to-day life. The first question I would like to ask Professor Dissanayake. Now, you were talking about green cities. So I have one question. So first, if you take a city, whether to make it green in order to make it smart, or because we're talking about smart cities, or first we make the city smart and then go green. Which way is the most suitable if you think about that? So, and at the same time, yeah.
I think the way things are happening, I think we have to make sure that both things must go parallelly together, because making the city smart is maybe sometimes easier than making it green. Making it green, it make a lot of time and effort. Making the city smarter can be done easily as long as we have enough funding and so forth. Therefore, I think both must go parallel. You can't wait until the city become greener and then make it smarter. You can go parallel, hopefully.
Yeah, so if you're doing this parallelly, so if the city is becoming too smart, then it won't be a green city. Still, will it be a green city? Because in order to make the city smart, you need to use more energy and you need to use more land and all sort of things. Then the greenish will be vanished, right?
Yeah. But for example, even the smarter city also, my understanding is they try to make sure that the energy consumption and the traveling and the various things trying to be cut down, so that it's also part of the sustainability. It's become greener automatically.
Yes, thank you very much. Let's ask, I think Dr. Narendra. So I think by giving as much as power, right? By giving as much as energy a city wants, obviously you can make the city somewhat comfortable living, smarter, let's say, right? So in order to make it greener, right? So you, as I can remember, you introduced five stages: smart agents, smart energy agents, and all sort of things. But at one point you explained that in order to make those things efficiently working, you need lots of footprint, right? In that case, this green concept will be somewhat polluted by making city smarter, right? So from the energy perspective, what is your idea? So when you are going to make the city smarter by giving, let's say, somewhat energy demand that is needed by the city, what will be happening to the sustainability side?
Actually, I beg defer to change, beg permission to differ from that opinion that making the city smarter deteriorates the concept of being city green. That is not exactly what I wanted to tell. What I wanted to tell was that making city smart does not mean that you are going to destroy the city space and just, building infrastructure to provide. That is not the smart city concept.
Okay.
Smart city concept is predominantly to provide the traditional services of energy using advanced technology to reduce the footprint and reduce the energy footprint, reduce the environmental footprint, and as well as reducing the geographic footprint. So that's what I told you now. Now say if you want to make the grid reliable, the not smart way of doing that is to put another transmission line or another distribution line to your house. The smart way of doing that is to bring it underground and mount automatic switches so that one part is being out of service, you switch yourself to the other side. You have two sides of supply. But as I explained you, but these two sides of supply, if we are going to build using this overhead technology, as you correctly said, will put a huge footprint on the city, where city becomes entirely inefficient. Spatial usage of the city would be pretty low. So the smart technology, what it does is, while maintaining the city's efficiency or increasing the efficiency and increasing the reducing the environmental footprint, try to provide the energy services in a more efficient and effective manner. That is the whole idea of smart cities. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And now, when we talk about all these smart things and green cities and pollution-free cities, so we always talk about this attitude or behavioral change, right? So President Dissanayake showed us one video how this Japan citizens, they keep the city clean. Even from the school children, they have been given the thoughts of the importance of keeping the cities clean, right? So when it comes to Sri Lanka, now if we start from the school level, right, it will be taking much time for us to reach some of the cities. I think if you take much this Colombo city and some other very populated cities, so it will be taking much time for us to do this attitude change of the people, right? So rather than going for an attitude change, as engineers, is there a way that we can do this smarter way to make the city green rather than making it too smart, rather than changing the attitudes also as engineers, because it will be very difficult for us at this stage to change attitudes, right? To make cities green. Is there a way that you have thought about in various forums, President Dissanayake?
Yeah, this is how I look at your questions. Any changes in the world is when you start some concept, it takes generally several years to establish in a country. That is a usual norm. But some of them are like technically adaptation and so forth will be coming so quicker than usual. That means the technology will help us to change just this time barrier. Another one is, of course, the investment, right? So, some country like, for example, Japan has been a country where even after the Second World War, they had a lot of attitude changes and many other culturally also they are different. They are more like the unique citizen and so forth. Have brought up to the some point, right? But country like Singapore, they are bringing this to with the law, right? I more see like in Japan attitude. I see it, the same thing is happening in country like Singapore, but more on the law enforcement. But similarly, when you think about another model like the German, right, they use like more like technology and the finance both. Like so that means that this can be changed not by only attitude but also with the technology as a law enforcement and economy and so forth. Right? Therefore, if you want to bring quicker the sustainable cities, like if you have money and investment, for example, you can remember once Colombo city was still I see the cleaner city than it was before. It became one of the most cleaner, one of the most cleaner city in Southeast Asia, like maybe about few years before. That may be the one reason how the last president came to the power. So people saw how he had changed the cities to the beautiful city. And but there we see the law and enforcement and the lot of investment were brought to the cities. So likewise we can bring it. But if you want to sustain what the what you call so-called greener city concept or the sustainability of the city, it should not only with the economy and technology, but attitude change is the most important thing that we must focus on. Number one is attitude, then technology, then money. That's how I see. I hope I answer your question.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, yeah, technology, money, of course, in near future, I don't think we can come out from this economic crisis. Yes. So therefore, money factor we need to keep aside definitely, right?
That means now we have target for the attitude and so forth.
Attitude and yeah, technology. Yeah. So and when you talk about this technology, so as Mr. Hemachandra's presentation, he said now he gave us a conceptual design where we can efficiently manage our harvest. All right. I would like to ask you now, so we always talk about lacking of technology in our country and technology knowledge also. So is it really possible for us to cross-border technology cross-border, that is from Asia or from other countries, we can borrow the technology or export the technology? Is it possible for us to engage in this type of a thing to manage efficiently the harvest we get, through which we can make our cities sustainable? Right. And now the problem is in the cities, we are not doing this agricultural activities mostly, right? That is in rural area. Therefore, that's why you suggested this transport and this buying and selling and all things in one platform, right? So in that case, how we can borrow or import knowledge cross-border, across the border, our country, across the border, how we can borrow the knowledge, technological expertise? Is there a possibility as engineers?
Okay, I think I was talking about agriculture value chain, how we
Yes,
can
value chain,
do the
yeah.
inputs for the development of agriculture sector, food
Yeah.
chain. etc. etc. So thing is actually technology thing is in this country I was observing this in many ways, many instances. We always think about borrowing technology from outside and we wait until foreigner come and give the solution. I think you didn't mention that. But my way I think is actually we have to as a kid, first kid cannot walk, he fall, right? So gradually he built how he's walking. So like that is why we are not developing as a country. We ourselves has to find the solution. That's why I say plan, do, check and action. That's how Japan developed. So we fail first time, then we correct it, check and action. So then we are rolling this cycle, we end up with good product. Of course, as we are living in global world, as you rightly mentioned, we have to learn how others are doing a better way, best way. What are the best practices available in the other part of the world? So that kind of thing we can take here and adopt. But when we are going to do that, we have to do rather than asking foreigner. That's what my way of my thinking. So we ourselves has to start. We have to do. Then we fail, we learn, and we do. So as you mentioned in your question, so whether we can do it, export it to other countries. Of course, if we can develop this kind of digital platform, so from beginning, from scratch, gradually, not overnight. So we can teach it to even Israel. We can teach it to India. So we have enough resources. I think Dr. Narendra, I know in his organizations, they're doing a lot of innovations like the smart meters they are producing. So they start, from beginning, they are in little lower stage, but gradually they will come out with good products. So like that, I think we have to do by ourselves, we have to learn from others, but we ourselves has to do. That is, I think, the way I think, Dr. Iresha. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hemachandra. Any comments from Dr. Narendra for that?
Yes, exactly.
This-
Exactly.
Yeah, cross-border, energy transfer.
Yeah, I cannot agree anymore. It's absolutely correct. That's what Mr. Hemachandra said. This attitude of we as engineers, because any person usually when they learn, they start thinking that they can. So learning, if we try to understand why people learn, is also to make him claim he can. But we as engineers, we have a peculiar behavior. When more we learn, we used to say we cannot. So now the engineers are the first guys to come out in a forum and say, no, we can't do it. So that is not the right way of looking at the problem. We can do it. I fully appreciate. I'm very happy that Mr. Hemachandra brought this matter. Technology is something that we have learned, that we are savvy at, we are strong at, we can develop. But as very correctly Mr. Hemachandra said, you cannot, I mean, it is not the first day that you are going to make the best product. But unless you start producing, you will never produce anything. So probably at the beginning, you will have issues, but you got to be resilient, as well as the country got to incubate you to the point where the products start coming out of the country. Otherwise, this country is not going to this economic crisis or whatever. We are not going to come out of this unless that little bit of culture, that piece of culture is going to be inculcated within our lives and economies. So exactly, this technology is available with us. We know how to do this. Technology is not an issue. I don't think we have much of a problem of technology. Probably we might have to get some components from foreign countries, but technology, definitely we have that. So there's no question, any politician, anybody, take the lead. We have the technology. But it is a question, will and the funding for this thing, because this is as Professor Ranjit Dissanayake very correctly said, this is a transformation of the society. How we look at this problem. People got to sit down and say, no, we are going to do this. Once the moment that it is said, believe me, there are enough and more engineers to articulate that within the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have another question for Engineer Hemachandra. Now, with regards to your presentation, it is said that the involvement of middlemen, right? So they create unfavorable situation for both this producer and customer, right? We know that there were lots of discussions regarding this rice and paddy, this middleman intervention. So can the digital platform find a solution for that problem?
Dr. Ilesh, actually, that was one of the biggest problem of previous president. If you can remember, he talked about how we can remove these people who is not giving any value addition, who make money out of that, right? So I think the regulation, we can do regulation by legislation, the one way. Other way, we can make a system or machine, like if you put the water come through like this and come out. So if we put the system, automatically it goes. So we can do regulation by legislation, we can do regulation by making system. So I feel this digital platform will work as a system. So it track each and every stakeholder in the agriculture value chain. So if farmer, if he's selling to someone, it will be tracking the platform so that it can monitor. Maybe we can use AI technology, whatever it is. So the person is doing things, is doing in the business in the digital platform without making any value addition. So whatever it is, so he can be highlighted in the system so that the government can take policy measures, regulatory actions. So whatever thing can be done. So I think it is possible. My answer is it is possible, but way of doing, we have to discuss, we have to analyze. So that has to be done. Thank you.
So yeah, it means that this will regulate the price as well, right? So if we implement this kind of a system, it will regulate the prices of
correct. That is one of you're very correct there. Actually, that is one of the main because in the electricity, I think Dr. Narayan is expert on that. Actually, they as there's the price public utilities commission, they do the price review and how unit cost of production. So like that in agriculture. So this, I mean, the kind of digital platform, there will be administrator or regulator, so they can go and check the prices that spent by farmer. So then with that, they can give some markup, they can monitor the market. Then if seller is giving big markup, big profit margin, so that can be regulated. That kind of regulatory aspect we can consider in the digital platform. Thank you for asking that question. That is very, I have forgotten to mention that actually. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, so at some point you were talking about this policymakers problem, and you said not necessarily we should need this regulation, but if you have the system that will automatically make a legislation kind of thing, the system will automatically work, right? Let's ask, I think Professor Disanayake, what is your thought on that? So not necessarily have legislations, but if you make the system, will that automatically work? What is your opinion on that?
It's hybrid actually. I'm not saying we cannot remove the regulations.
Yeah. There should be some kind of a discipline as well, right? So mainly we need, I think, in my opinion, legislations or regulation or anything for discipline, right? But if you are much disciplined, I think we can reduce the number of legislations that we have. Yeah, Professor Disanayake, what is your thought on that? This policy making and legislation problems. So do you still believe if we set the system, that will automatically work without any hassle?
Yeah. I actually when you look at the so we'll see a developed country, right? So things will happen with the system. Whether I remember like when I go to the say US, when I have the social security number, and if I get a apartment, my family has the guaranteed place to the children has a guaranteed place to go to the school and so forth. Everything is within the system. I remember once I wanted to change my car and for the new car to register, but they simply say that you are going to stay less than 3 months. So if somebody is living here in US less than 3 months, you can't own a vehicle. That means that you can't go with the new registration and so on. The system will allow you to do whatever you want. The system will block you, whatever you can't do. But legislation is inside of the system then, right? Therefore, finally, we are thinking about bringing the Superman to run the country. But of course, we have to develop the systems. System will run. So I am a big believer in the system. Wherever, when I was in the head of department civil engineering, I always, what I did, I'm happy that some of the system that I developed, even they don't know who developed it, they run the system, right? Right. Likewise, we have to run the system, and you have to be smart that go through the system and see there's any weak holes. So correct it, and once the system in place, we'll go. But this weak hole and various things can be covered with the legislation. That is what I believe. Over to you.
So rather than me asking all the questions, I'm sure the members of the participants may be having questions for the panel. Let me give them a chance to ask their questions. Any questions for panel members? Anyone, any questions? So you can pause now. All right. It seems there are no questions from the audience. I have another question. Actually, we were discussing about the smart cities lot in our faculty because of this panel discussion as well. So we wanted to get clear about some of the facts about this smart city concept and challenges faced by the engineer, because we are a engineering faculty. Now, so what is your thought, Professor Disanayake? So as an engineer, so we as a engineering faculty, we nurture engineers, right? But when it comes to, so as we talked previously, when it comes to the attitude level, as Dr. Narendra said, we always think that we can't do, we need expertise, knowledge, and all sort of things, right? How can we prevent that at the educational level? So this is not really related to the smart cities, but at the educational level, how can we prevent that? So you said, I know I'm also from Peradeniya, and you did drastic differences in the department and the faculty. So how can we further improve to make efficient use of these graduates to the country rather than migrating? President Disanayake, you're muted.
Okay. Yeah. When you come to the present situation of the country, people are trying to migrate because it is in a way they try to find out the short-term benefit out of the present situation. So we should not let them to keep them, because if they want to go, of course, they have to let them leave. Now people are leaving, like it seems like the data, like every 1 hour, 22 people are migrating or something like that. Data may be different, right? But what we have to do as the citizen, as the government of Sri Lanka, we have to make sure that we understand our real problem, right? Real problem can be look at the different angle, economically, socially, and so forth. Economically, we have been enjoying bringing the more goods to the country than we send. That simply say that we have to at least must go to the balance between the what we are sending, what we are bringing in terms of dollar. That means simply we have to go for the manufacturing. So I have a statistics that I am always presenting. Data of the MIT. MIT has produced so many graduates. Out of that, it seems like there are nearly more than 30 big companies are there, 30,000. And they produce, they have employed so many millions of people. And the annual turnover of these companies created by the alumni of the MIT is between the economy in India and Russia. You can imagine the huge impact on the economy, world economy by the one university or the country economy. We have a question that, are we doing that? I don't think so. We do research. Of course, we have to do the research. Then we keep the research in the books in the libraries. But what are the outcomes that we have? So while we are complaining to the policymakers and so forth, we have to question ourselves. Are we doing the right thing? The right thing means that we have to do the research and come up with the innovation and go for the kind of commercialization and make sure that whatever the research that we do, make use of the country economy. We don't do. We have been getting the funding, especially like not maybe the Open University, but Open University is earning. Country like other universities like Peradeniya, Colombo and so forth, we have been getting the money from the budget. So we do use that budget money for the research, then write the nice thesis. Even the printing of the thesis cost them government money and just keep it in the library somewhere. Then somebody may use as a literature review. But that is all. We have to make sure that we make use of that into the practice. Well, I can, of course, can say and argue because I have developed 4 companies out of this research. That means I'm not going to say, I don't think, because we were talking about the technology and adaptation and so forth. Because now to develop this country, we have technology more than enough, 10 times technology is available in the world. What we have to do is adapt this technology and innovate according to our climate, our people and so forth. I mean, society and develop and try to make sure that this will be sustained. The adaptation, the innovation and sustainability. Technology is there, but of course, meanwhile, we can develop our own innovation and so forth, but enough technology is there. Only thing is we have to make sure that the commercialize and produce the things that we want for the country and so forth. This is how we have to make sure that of course, the university like Open University people are in the industry. So make sure that they will be encouraged to come up with some innovation and product out of it for the nation development. Over to you.
Okay, thank you. My next question is now, right, we produce engineers as academics, and I'm sure Dr. Narendra, you must be employing them, right? So have you seen any deficiencies? I'm sure not technically, but attitude-wise, so that we can improve our curriculum, so that we can improve their attitude. Once they become graduate, they will be kind of having very good attitudes to move forward. So have you seen any deficiencies, or would you like to suggest us to academia that you should focus on these things more than technological aspects and all sort of things? I'm sure you must be having employees, engineers. I don't know the number. Yeah, I can't guess.
It's not clear. Actually, now as I would like to elaborate a little bit on what Professor Ranjit Visanayake said just now. It's a very valuable point. That now the issue is, let's go to a historic society. And there are, in a historic society, there are castes, And these castes are attached with various jobs. Now, today's engineer, usually engineers are builders, isn't that so? But if you today do a work study and place our engineers in the old society, they would be either administrators or writers. So the real issue is that actually engineers are builders. When you are training engineers, you got to train them through small projects, activities, rather than studying. Our engineers in our educational system, first year, second year, third year, fourth year, they keep on, so they become more and more study dependent. We develop their skill of studying, develop their skill of memorizing, develop their skill of answering question papers. So once when they finish their 4 years and come out, they are really good memorizers, really good students. They are really good at writing things. They're pretty good. And on the other hand, once when they come to me, I employ them, not as engineers. I also employ them in administration function, procurement, various funny things which they are not taught, even not what they are taught for. So this is utter disarray. So that question what you asked, whether these guys who are you are producing is well fitting into the industry, is a very difficult question to answer, because industry is also not utilizing them as fully fledged engineers. So because of that reason, I think the both entities, at least a little bit of engineering that the industry got, engineers are not very fond of doing. They more like to do administration, they more like to do documentation, compared to even the bit of engineering what we got in hand. So both the entities, I think it's not fair by us to say that put the entire burden onto the universities. I think both the industry as well as the university got to transform itself to proper engineering organization. And actually, I like to keep that burden more in the industry than university, because if we transform ourselves into innovative, technology-based, problem-solving organizations, invariably you guys got to produce the right people. So there's no issue. You will be, and you know what the requirement actually is. Now the problem is, since industry does not do the innovation and that particular transformation, it has become the university to think what actually the industry is going to do. That's also a good way of solving the problem, because university can lead the industry. But I think more practical we're doing it is this coherency where the industry start doing innovations first. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that's kind of a good idea. Yes, I think you meant that industry-driven research should be initiated, right? In most of the time, as President Andit said, yes, we write our thesis, we do all the higher studies, and then keep that in a library, and nobody uses it, right? So if we are to do this type of industrial project for our students, I think we need to develop all our linkages. Dr. Narendra, do you have any idea about, this is a very general question, the way of building this very good friendship between engineering undergraduates, academia, and then industry? So any thoughts about that? I think, yeah, we also accept that we are missing that part in our academia as well. not all the cases, but some of the cases, we are having many engineering faculties, technology faculties in Sri Lanka. But this industry academia linkage is, I think, somewhat weak. Any thoughts on that, how to improve this one? Because we are talking about challenges for engineering sector in new normal, especially due to pandemic situation, we lost many things. And because of this economic crisis also, so we move on to fully digital platforms like this fully online conversations and all sort of things. Any thoughts about that to rebuild or restart this academic industry linkage from your side? Any thoughts?
Yes, actually, now the way how I see it is that industry got enough and more problems because of two reasons. One thing is that the engineers who produce from universities are not very happy to tackle these problems. They run away from problems, and the problems are remaining as it is. That's number one. The number two is that the universities got the potential of doing this. So what I feel is that there are enough and more problems within the industry. The only thing is the industries are not having a lot of trust on universities in solving these things because this was there, as you correctly said, that link is not there. So what I think we can do is one or two lecturers getting a good student group, consistent student group, and coming and meeting industry and having borrow a small problem, just a minute problem, and sort that out. Give us the solution. Most likely we will be funding for that to work out the solution, but it must be it should be a complete completion. You can't stop at a point where you produce a thesis and say goodbye. Then we are done, because at the industry we are being audited, we are being checked, we have our checks and balances. If we head on to a solution, we got to get the solution and implement it and physically reap the product. For us, it is not a research project, it's a practically on the ground work. So if such a solution can be worked out, that happened, because the best example is Open University, the electrical department. For the last 3-4 years, the questions that we brought in were well solved. And our software, certain software developments are being integrated with those solutions, those algorithms. So that potential is available in Open University and other universities. That is available, but somebody got to sit down and strive for that, to bring it to the target. So from the universities, if a committed group of experts create a small cell with a very well active group of students, I think industry will be interested enough to provide a couple of solutions as well as some funding for you to go with getting the solution. But moment that you fail in giving a single solution, link is gone. That's what it happens. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, my next question is now, Professor Dissanayake, as an administrative officer in academia and both ISL as well, do you find any immediate solution for this? Dr. Narendra said now linkage has broken up to a certain extent, right? Okay, so do you have any solution in mind to rebuild this one, or restart that one, so that most of the engineering graduates will be benefited?
Yeah. It's like there are different hats that I'm wearing time to time.
I know, yeah.
One time the next, the president-elect ISL, some situation, the senior professor in the department, as well as I have my own industries, which I am chairing, construction and consultants and so forth. But of course, when I look at another one is that the present, there is a crisis in the country. So that we have to understand. But there, as I told you before, that the people are migrating, trying to migrate, let them to migrate. But what I believe is something you, rather than you stopping the such a migration and so forth. I remember the case in Korea. We had a similar situation before 19, like, right? Many Koreans left the country. Then after the Korean development, 1994, like that period, those who migrated came back to Korea, but when they come back, they brought very important things, which is technology as well as the investment. So that is why the Korea was rapidly developed, mostly from the people brought the technology as well as investment. So therefore, we have to be, we have to look at that angle. So, but like Korea did, we have to have the policy makers must make sure similar situation happen in Sri Lanka. So necessary infrastructure and legislation and everything should be set. People might come as well as then when they come back to Korea, they created the much better opportunities for those who are in the country. So looking at that angle, my I cannot specify being a chairman of the company or ISL president or senior professor. What I believe is the research, applied research, and making kind of innovation, and must commercialize and must produce the whatever the possible things in the country. So that this will be another good opportunity for the undergraduate, those who do not want to leave this country. If they really want to stay for some reason, maybe they don't want to leave their parents, loved ones, or whatever it is, so they can start their own business. But many people are looking after jobs. Why not they start their own something? Start in the smaller way. I have a lot of example, people who started smaller way at the beginning, people laugh at you because you are different from others. But the later you can laugh at them because they have been in the corporate ladder or somewhere trying to get the promotion and so forth. They become like a king or the own leader, innovator very soon by starting the businesses. I have so many cases. Likewise, those who want to go, of course, go. Why don't come one day with the money and technology? Those who want to start something smaller way, within the 5-10 years, they can become a corporate leader or the chairman of big companies, and so this is all.
Yeah. Thank you very much. That's a very good way of thinking. Let them go, right? Yeah. So I would like to ask Mr. Hemachandra also, Engineer Hemachandra. So you're working for JICA. So those type of, I think, non-government organization, what can they do for us to come out from this economic crisis or come out from this situation in the country, especially with regards to engineering education and engineering job market?
Actually, JICA is, first of all, JICA is a non-government, not a non-government organization,
Okay.
Japanese government organization. The JICA, actually, what we are doing, basically we are project financing. So we having 3 tools, granted, technical cooperation, and yen loan. So in the case of capacity building, we are offering training program for engineers. So there are a lot of engineers who went to Japan and they get the exposure of Japanese technology, how they are doing, etc., etc. That is there. I think Professor Disarnayak and Dr. Narendra explain about this, how to connect with industry. I also would like to a little bit explain the small aspect discuss. So I think immediately what you can do is in the final year project, why don't you connect, why don't you get the co-supervisor for the final year project? And if you can go for applied research, applied research and co-supervisor from the industry, so that the students are continuously working with co-supervisor and the academic supervisor. I think they are getting good exposure.
Yeah, so most of our academic staff is here, and they are watching through YouTube as well, because this is live streaming as well. Therefore, it's a good news for them, and it's a good way of communicating with the industry partners, so that we can build our linkage. And then, so since we are once again talking about challenges for the engineering sector in the new normal, so rebuilding engineering careers in Sri Lanka, now we are facing lots of problems because of this economic crisis, right? As Professor Ranjit said, some of the people, they are trying to migrate, and we can let them go and come back with better technology and investment, of course. And then people who wants to remain, right? People who wants to remain, what is the final message that you would like to give them if they want to remain here? Professor Ranjit said, yes, why not you start your own business, right? I would like to ask Dr. Narendra also, what is the final message for our budding undergraduates so that they can move forward in their career ladder?
Interesting question. Actually, the way how I see this is as we are hitting one recession. We are doing something wrong. The economic cycle was not matching with what we are doing. So now we are hitting an economic crisis, but the economic recessions and economic crises are for other countries. It is very, very frequent. Very frequently, this is not a major crisis that somebody can run away from the country. These sort of things happen. Historically, fear framings are there. Various problems are there. So this is a small issue where we are having some income and we are spending something. All of a sudden, our income has come down. So 1 or 2 years, we are having a problem of deficit. And our society, without apprehending this situation, has made a hell of a mess. And because of that reason, the recovery has become slower. That's all what has happened. So, first of all, we got to come out of this crisis, number one. Number two is that we got to identify what was going wrong. What was going wrong is we were depending on rather vulnerable income. So even in this entire crisis, our industrial revenue was staying constant. So that gives a very clear indication that we got to industrialize the country, which all engineers were telling over the last 30-40 years. I think everybody has understood that. So this is the time of us. The entire country recognized that country got to be industrialized. But quite unfortunately, we are running away from saying, no, we don't know how to do it. We need technology. We don't know engineering. Somebody, you guys got to find some good engineer to do this and all that. So we should stop. First of all, we should stop that because the message that we are delivering to the country is that there's a bunch of engineers who don't know engineering, and because of that, they got to find some foreign guy coming and industrializing the country. We can do that, and as Professor Ranjit Dissanayake said, the potential, capacity, the innovativeness, everything is there. We got to consolidate ourselves around our institute, around our universities, in innovating and providing solutions. And we must motivate our students rather than waiting for a government job, just to try to build something. And we as senior engineers, we should facilitate that. If somebody sits in in front of me saying that, sir, I did this, I should try my best to purchase that. So unless me at this level won't do that, that guy will not have a survival. If I come to the point saying that no, Sri Lankans cannot do it, we need experience, I need good products, I need foreign experience, this will not going to happen. So this is the two things. One thing, the senior group of engineers got to shed their thinking of we cannot and we must have international experience sort of. We must entertain the incoming products, and the young group of engineers got to innovate and bring new products, and thereby try to get the country. Countries get economic development. Countries get industrial through SME, small and medium scale industries. So we must get small and medium scale enterprises coming out with products and solutions. And we as senior engineers, we should entertain them. I think that is the formula. It's not very complicated and very difficult thing. It's a simple thing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Narendra. And then Engineer Hemachandra, yes, what would you like to give as the final thought for our recent graduates and undergraduates?
Yeah, I think the first message is actually there's opportunity in this country. My always request is stay in this country and contribute for the country, not to go out and find the opportunities. That is the first message I want to say. Talk about the environment and policy environment, how to make the opportunities. I think as a kind of professional bodies, IESL, Institute of Engineers Sri Lanka, and other government agencies, engineering agencies, we have to get together and discuss about these policies, government policies, how to make a climate for engineers to work, investment to come, and product to develop, engineering product to develop. Those things we have to explore, because government is making policies. Under policies, they are making programs. Under programs, they are making projects. So how to achieve the policy objectives has to be it's a big analytical work. So what are the resources we are having? Those things we have to analyze for the area we are handling as engineers. Industrial sector, power and energy, water supply and sanitation, port and airport, all these sectors we have to analyze and see what our engineers can do. And we have to educate our government. Okay, you keep these areas for our engineers. Maybe we can go for public-private partnership. So with the terms that win-win situation for our country and private investor if he's coming from outside. So this kind of thing we have to educate government rather than being silent. So as a professional bodies, as a kind of government agencies, top management of the organization. So maybe we have to get together and do something. I think I can tell little more, because at the moment our president is IESL president is Dr. Kamal Laxmi, and president-elect is Professor Ranjit Disanayak. I think they are working very beautifully together. So I think IESL is now heading towards certain good direction, so that we are talking to even we had one meeting with the government top level bureaucrats, policymakers. In the future, we also planning to have such kind of meetings. We try to explore the possibility. I'm not boasting, but we have to do something for the country to open up opportunities to work young engineers, make our own thing, and go to the international market and show our abilities and the things that we can do.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for going to the final words from President Disanayak. Let me ask participants, their audience, anyone wants to ask any questions from the panel? Anyone who's interested in posing certain questions to the panel? Right. It seems no. In that case, yes. I think we had a very fruitful session. So I would like to invite President Disanayak for our undergraduates. I know you told us many things. What is your final kind of closing remarks?
Yeah, kind of conclusion remark that we were talking about the kind of sustainable cities today, but what I have to say is the present and the future. Sustainability is is must. whatever the activities that we are doing, we have to go for the sustainability. Because we have been enjoying the resources so far. Some people started enjoying the resources earlier than us because of they developed their country before, like maybe you can say Europe or US and so forth. But when you come to the Asia, we are trying to develop, some countries has developed. But everybody now struggle, including the America and Europe and everywhere, whether you are developed or undeveloped, resource scarcity. Therefore, whatever the activity that we are doing, we have to make sure that we must go for the sustainable. Then when we go to the teaching and learning and so forth, every learning must embedded with the sustainability. That is the way forward. Therefore, if you are thinking about the further study, is better, but you can't say always go for the something toward the sustainability. And if you are trying to make sure that the start new business or entrepreneurships and so forth, target for the green entrepreneurships, right? Because whatever you produce has a better value day by day if you go for the sustainability. For example, if you go for the produce something which is need a lot of energy, water and so forth, with the time your product will be outdated. But if you go for the, like say, if you try to make sure that the waste will be converted to the valuable product or something, that is a green, right? So that day by day there will be a opportunity for such kind of employment. Therefore, what my message is, as the topic concerned today, the sustainability of the future, for whether it is industry, whether it is research or academic or teaching, we have to make sure that whatever the activities we do, we have to make sure that the sustainability is there. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you very much. So with that conclusive remarks, we'll wind up the session for today. Thank you very much once again, Professor Anjit Disanayake from University of Peradeniya and Dr. Narendra De Silva from LECO Private Limited and Engineer M.G. Hemachandra from JICA Sri Lanka. Despite all your busy schedules, for giving us time, thank you so much. It's really commendable and appreciable. Thank you very much. And all the participants, I think you had a nice session. And all the participants, thank you for being here. Not only the participants on Zoom, the participants who are watching through YouTube, thank you very much for your participation as well. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a pleasant day, the rest of the day.
Thank you very much.